Digital photography has allowed many of us to become amateur shutterbugs. ABC 15's photojournalist met Valley photographer Dayvid LeMmon, who traded in his film camera for a digital camera to push his creativity and create surreal worlds.
My grandfather has been an avid photographer most of his life, and he had a darkroom built in his house. As a little boy, I'd always spend a lot of time in there. He showed me the basics, how to make a print, how to expose your negative and develop them. So that's where I first got my love of photography. That's where it comes from. What I love about photography, well, I've always kind of considered it the melding of art and science. I'm interested in technology. I've always had a love for computers and new gadgets and stuff like that, as well as art. I really do appreciate art, and it's kind of a way for me to combine the two and create something, more than the sum of its parts. When I originally switched from film to digital, before I was shooting medium format, which is it's a little expensive to get developed and everything like that, but when you go over to digital, all of a sudden you don't have to worry about film costs and things like that. It's kind of like a new way of shooting. Working digital, it allows you to flow a little bit better with the shoot. It frees you up to think about the image and how you're interacting with your model or your subject or whatever, and you don't worry about how many frames you have left, and it gives you so much more flexibility. About half the time when I go out and shoot, I will already have pre-planned in my head exactly what I want to capture. Sometimes I'll just have images pop in my head, and I'm like, oh, I need to go out and shoot that right now. Other times, I'll go out in search of stock images. I'll just shoot a model in a blank warehouse or something like that I can drop into another photograph later. With photography, it's really, because of the advent of digital cameras and things like that, it's really brought photography kind of into the common man's hands even more than it was so already. So someone can go out there with not too much technical knowledge and create a good photograph. But I'm really interested in creating the best possible image that I can, and that requires you to know a little bit about the traditional methods. I think having a strong background in film photography has made me respect quality a lot more. In quite a bit of my work, I use a lot of abandoned buildings. I've always been kind of attracted to the mystique of that. Going to these places raises so many questions about what's happening in people's lives and what made them move on. And I think that's something, I want the viewer to ask themselves what's going on in their life, what have they left behind. It's impossible when you're photographing to be totally objective about work. It's so subjective. It depends on the photographer. They're always going to impart a piece of themselves onto the work that they're producing. And I think mine it goes beyond that to the point where I'm creating my own worlds out of these photographic creations. I want the viewer to ask questions about my photographs. I think every aspect, the title, the images that I choose, it begs to be asked, why is this here? What's the history of this place? I enjoy hearing other people's interpretations. It's kind of an interesting way to learn about people, the way they interpret my work.
If you're interested in learning more about Dayvid's work, you can use the information on your screen or log on to our website at abc15.com.